Close your palms, apply a palm on the face, open your eyes, and release. Okay, so let me share the screen. Just confirm it once if my screen is visible to all.
Yes.
Okay. So yesterday we have started the introduction of Vasisht Samhita. Let us go through the thing which we have studied already yesterday in the brief. Okay. After that, we are going to continue it. We saw that Vasisht Samhita is a text in which the whole yogic context is described in complete 6 chapters. Okay. But when you go through the book, this book is consisting only this book is consisting total 8 chapters, but only 6 are connected to yoga. So the books which are written as Vasisht Samhita or Yog Kanda of Vasisht Samhita, if you see for the prior version, they are containing 8 chapters. But if you go for the new editions, they are only containing 6 chapters. They have excluded 2 chapters which are related to astrology and astronomy. Okay. Basically, this whole context is related to uh, Maharshi Vasisht, who is also known as Brahm Rishi Vasisht, and his son, whose name is Shakti. So there is a conversation between Shakti and Brahm Rishi Vasisht about the knowledge, how the knowledge is working, what the knowledge is, and how we can proceed to that knowledge. Okay. So we have seen that in these 6 chapters, chapter number 1 is containing 84 verses, and the main context of chapter 1 is number 1 is the question of Shakti, number 2 is the introduction about Vedokt Karm, which we have studied yesterday about the Nirvitar, the Pravartak or Nirvartak Karm. Okay. After that, the third point we are going to discuss today, which is Ashtang Yoga. And as the name suggests, Ashtang means there are 8 steps. Okay. There are 8 angs of yoga which are similar to the Patanjali Ashtanga Yoga, Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi. But from all these 8, only Yam, Niyam, and Asan are described in chapter number 1. Okay. So that will be the whole context of chapter number 1. After that, the last will be essential purification of nadis before practicing the pranayam. It is just described in last 2 to 3 verses that before jumping into the 4th step, you must have to practice the purification of nadis, and after that you can go for the practicing of pranayam. Okay. So that will be whole about the chapter number 1, which we have studied yesterday. We are skipping the chapter 2 and 3 context. We will see this when we reach up to the chapter 2 and 3. Okay. So in chapter number 1, we have seen from the starting, the son was admiring his father, his guru, about how great Vasishtha is from the verse 1 to verse 5, and he's like doing the prayer of his guru, of his father, that hey Vasishtha, you are so great. Hey Vasishtha, you know every knowledge, you have everything in your mind. You know what the knowledge is. You know what to do. You know what the karmas are described. Everything you know. So kindly tell me how a person like me, who is nothing, can attain that knowledge. Okay. So this first to fifth verse is completely giving the storyline to you, how the son Shakti is preparing his mind and preparing his father's mind to let him get the knowledge, what is the true knowledge. Okay. After that, the sixth and seventh verse is actually that one in which he is asking actually the question, and you must have to remember this question very clearly, because what happens is sometimes in the exam you will get the question, or you will get the number that in which verse, in which chapter Shakti has asked the question. Okay. So you can get this in mind that is chapter number 1 and verse number 6 to 7, in which he is asking the main question. And what is the question? Question is that how an ignorant person like me can acquire the knowledge through which I may liberate myself from this world. Okay. So there are 2 to 3 things which he is asking for the main. He wants to get the liberation. And for get the liberation, he needs the knowledge. He needs to acquire the knowledge. So he's asking his father that I want to get the knowledge. Please guide me through the path of this. In this context, when Shakti is asking that, his father is giving some reactions after asking the question. So the reaction was like he's compassionately looking at his son, and then he's telling his son about his own story, that I was also like you at my time of the study. I was also wandering here and there, and when I reached to my guru, then he is telling, Vasishta is telling about his guru, who is Brahma, who is Narayan, who is actually dwelling into the heart of every being. It means that is also known that the place of soul is the heart. Okay, if you go through the Upanishads, you will see that the place of Atma, which is only of that thumb size structure, that is placed inside the heart. Okay, so he is also saying that Vasishta is saying to his son that Lord Narayan, who is present there in every person's heart, he was the one who told me about the knowledge. Okay, so he is telling that who Narayana is, who Brahma is. He is telling Brahma is the one who is ideal to all the yogis, who is faultless, who is ageless, who is permanent, and who is having the supreme blissful state. And then Vasistha is telling, I bowed down in front of that Narayan, in front of that Rishikesha, and I asked the same question which you were asking me, which you are asking me right now. Okay. And then he's telling that, okay, I visited Brahma very blissfully, who is sitting on the lotus flower, and he is having four-faced Lord. He is the four-faced Lord for the four karmas, for the four varn, for the four ashram, and for the four directions. All four faces are signifying these things, which are present there in from Sanatan. Okay. So he said, oh Lord, there are all the deities, but I am very, very confused about the scriptures, about the deities, and I am wandering here and there. I don't know what is the true, what is the truth. So I am very, very awful to that. Please tell me what is true, and I want to go with that true path. Okay. And then he is telling, okay, now Brahma is going to tell me. Now I am going to tell you what Brahma has told me when I asked the question. Okay. So the answer started with Vedokta karma. Okay. These two are the karmas which are described in Vedas. That there are 2 types of karmas. And if you have the knowledge of these karmas, you can choose consciously which type of karma you want to perform. Okay. So he is defining that Brahma has told me and I am telling you. He is not telling that I will tell you everything. He is telling that I do have all the knowledge which I get from the Brahma. So I will be telling you, I will be proceeding you the same knowledge, and I will try to proceed as such without any mixture of my own thoughts. Okay. So he's telling that Brahma told me in Vedas there are described 2 types of karmas. One is pravartak, one is nivratak. Pravartak karmas are those which are motivating and which are connected to desires. As you can see in the 20th verse, the definition of pravartak karma is described, and you can see those performance of actions by any type of person from any varna, from any ashram, which are connected with desire. That is important point only. Okay, which are connected with desire, they are known as pravartak karmas. Okay, these pravartak karmas uh, push a people for, yeah, or motivate a people for the transmigration. It means for continuously growing the stage of his consciousness, the stage of his present time. Okay. And in this, we have also seen that there are 4 type of varnas, there are 4 type of ashrams, and you must have to get the names of these in your mind all the time, because they are present almost in every text. Okay, you will get these 4 ashram and varna in Upanishads, 4 ashram and varnas in Bhagavad Gita. So you can learn them. Four varnas are Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, and ashrams are Brahmacharya, Grahastha, Vanprastha, and Sannyas. Then the second type of karmas which are described in Vedas is Nivritta karmas, which in English we can say liberating. It means if we are practicing the Nivritta karma, Nivritta actions, if we are doing, then we can be free from the birth and rebirth cycle. Okay. That is why the Nivritta karmas are described as those karmas which are based on the knowledge, and they are benefit of all desires. There is no desire present in Nivrita karmas, and these karmas are motivated with the help of knowledge, not with the help of your desire. Okay. When you have the knowledge that, okay, what is right and what is wrong, not what I want and what I don't want. Because what happens when we are telling something, when we are counting something to judge, we have another options for other people, and when the case is of our own, we take another thing. Okay, we take another decision, but the same thing happens with our friends. We are telling them to do something else. We are not going to do the same thing for us. That is due to we are doing pravarta karmas for ourselves. But when there is some person who is loved one, who is your friend, close family member, you cannot give them that advice which is wrong for them. Okay. So for them, you are doing Nivrita karma because there is no desire at all. You want that they should have to go in the right direction. But when you are taking for yourself, you are going for Pravarta karmas, because now that you are attaching the desire, what I want, what I don't want. And sometimes, and most of the time, what is happening, what we want is not correct. Okay. But because we are attaching it, so we are going to get the thing for sure, because we are practicing for that. We are doing the actions for getting the thing, but it is not correct for you. Okay, because that is pravarta karma, so it will connect you automatically for the transmigration, but it will not let you free from the birth and rebirth cycle. So the Vedopkaram is defining that there is a Nivrata karma which is based on the knowledge, and knowledge of what? That will be the next question of Shakti, because there comes a new term, the knowledge. So Shakti is confused little bit. Okay, if it should be based on the knowledge, which knowledge is it? Is it the knowledge of physics? Is it the knowledge of science? Is it the knowledge of economics? What knowledge is it on which we can choose the Nivrata karmas? Okay. Then he is defining again two types of Nivritta karmas. One is external and one is internal. This thing which we have done already in the yesterday's class. Now, all the students which are present right now, if anyone have any doubt or any question from the prior class, they can ask me. Like yesterday, if they were missed, that we have some doubt, but they were not able to ask, you can ask me right now. Otherwise, we can move on. If there is someone, please tell me. No? Okay, if you guys are not saying something, I will take it as you are understanding all the things, okay? But when I will
Yes,
ask,
ma'am, you already explained very well. And you revised you today also, so it's really very nice. Thank you. We
okay,
have no
okay,
questions.
okay, good. So next we are going to see what happens after it. When the Pravartak and Nivritta karmas are defined by the Maharishi Vasisht, then again the Shakti is having some things going in the mind, and he's telling, okay, as long as I am aware, I can do Nivritta karmas, but if I am ignorant person, how can I deal with it? How can I know according to Varn and Ashram what is the correct thing to do? Okay, so that is again the next versa, which is you can see it is Jnananiyo Ajnananiyo Vapi Yavadehasya Sadhanam Tavad Varnashram Proktam Kartavya Karma Muktaye. Which karmas we have to do according to Varn and Ashram for the liberation? Okay, he is asking that question. After that, he is explaining that, okay, if karma kand you are explaining is necessary for us, and Brahma itself become engrossed in yoga, then how can we detach ourselves from the action? This type of question is going into the Shakti's mind. Okay. So he's telling that, okay, as even we know, if some person know what is salvation, if some person know what is action, what is pravartak, what is nivartak, when we are going to perform the action, how can we detach ourselves from the desire? Is it possible even to do that or not? Okay, so these things, these four verses are describing the doubts of Shakti, that okay, you are telling these things, I agree with that, it can be possible, Ved is defining all these things, but hey, Maharshi Vasisht, Muni Vasisht, I want to ask you that how can I start, okay, and what that knowledge is. So in the 29th verse, he is again asking a particular question. What he is asking, it is defined as vidyuktam karm viprendra jnanen se kurvatah muktirukta tvaya dvabhyam tayorgyan vad prabhu. Hey Prabhu, hey Brahmin, please tell me that as you have discoursed upon the liberation through two means, one can be through the karma, one can be through the jnana. Because if you see, pravartak karmas are based on the motivation, based on the desires. So this is the karma which we are doing. And nivritta karmas are based on the knowledge. So we must have to get the specification what are the karmas based on knowledge and what are the karmas which we are actually doing. Okay. So Shakti is asking again the same question. If you are telling that liberation is dependent on two type of karmas, then please describe me what actually the knowledge is. Okay. Then, addressed by his son, Vasist is again pleased, and he's watching his son with very, very admiration that, okay, he is getting my words in correct manner, and that's why he is asking the correct question. So now Vasista is going to define the nature of knowledge. How is the knowledge looking like, and how can we proceed to it? Okay. So Vasist now is going to describe Vasist now is going to describe the form of knowledge. And what he is telling, Jnanam yogatmakam vidhi, yogashatmani tishtati, sa yoga stang sanyukta sarvadharmaha sa uchyate. It means, if you see the Sanskrit terms, these are very, very similar to Hindi. Jnanam means Gyan, which is knowledge. Yogatmakam means related to yoga. Vidhi means the process. Okay, the processes which are defined in yoga. Yoga Shatmani, it means all the essence of yoga. Sa yogo ashtang, yogo ashtang sanyuktam, the yoga which is connected with 8 parts, 8 steps. Swadharmaha sa uchyate. That is, swadharma means the self duty. Okay. So when we go for the explanation of this, what Vasistha is actually saying, that the knowledge I am talking about, that knowledge consists of yoga. And yoga leads the yoga, not the asana and pranayama and the calisthenics. That yoga which lead towards the self, which lead towards the self improvement, which lead towards the knowledge of the Atman and all this. Okay. So Vasistha is saying knowledge is consisting of yoga, and yoga lead towards the self. That's why the yoga, which is involving 8-fold path, is said to be the duty of universal for all. It means everyone must have to practice this 8-fold path of yoga, not the asana, pranayam, and some dynamic movements only. Everyone should have to practice all these 8-fold paths of yoga. That is the universal duty of everyone. That Vasistha is explaining to Shakti on the question that how the knowledge is, what is the nature of knowledge. So he is telling that the nature of knowledge is practicing yoga. That's it in the simple terms. Okay. So now he is telling that I shall explain widely what actually this 8-fold path is. And as we all know very well from the very famous text Yog Sutra, Vasistha is explaining again the same, that yamascha niyamescheva. And if you go again through this, these words are very, very similar to those which are mentioned in Yoga Sutra. Okay. You just have to cut them down. So this is yamascha. It means yam word is coming there. Okay. Niyamascheva. Niyam word is coming there. Tatha. Let it go. It is like the adjacents which are used in the language. Pranayamas tatha. It means pranayam. sorry, tatha asanam. Asan is left there. Asan. Okay. Pranayam. Shakke pratyahara. Pratyahar. Dharana. That is dhyan. It is written wrong. Just correct it. Okay. Not dhyan. Dhyanam samadhi retani yoga angani tapodhanam. It means Vasishta is saying, hey son, hey tapodhan, hey child, you are blessed with the knowledge of tapa because you are going to learn that which people learning after so long of the tapa. I'm going to tell you that. So that's why he is consolidating his son as the name Tapodhan. Hey Tapodhan Shakti, listen to this. Those limbs of yoga are as follows, and we all know the names of all these eight. Okay, just correct the numbering. This is not 1, 2, 3, 4. It is written 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 because the first four, these are the external, and these last four are the internal. Okay, but when you go for the Ashtanga Yoga, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so you can correct it. It will be 5, it will be 6, it will be 7, and it will be 8. But when you go for internal, the first internal practice is pratyahar, second internal practice is dharana, third is dhyan, and fourth internal practice is samadhi. So you can learn it like this. Yama are the practices which are the rules actually for the conducting in the society or for the self. Okay, as you compare it with Patanjali, Patanjali has mentioned only 5 type of yamas: ahimsa, satya, aste, brahmacharya, aparigraha. But there, when we are going to see, there are 10 yamas defined. Okay, again the niyamas, the vows which we actually have to follow up. Okay, for the personal self improvement, personal self purification, there are again 10 niyamas. In Patanjali, there are only 5 niyamas. The asanas, Patanjali is not describing any asana. When you go for the Vyas Bhashya, there will be some asanas describing there. But in this text of Vasishtha Samhita, there will be total of 10 asanas which are described there, and 4 are main from them 10. Okay. And then this pranayam is the subject matter of third chapter, because this yam niyam asan is only the context of first chapter, which we have also discussed in the revision in the last class. And pranayam will be the context of third chapter, because before jumping into pranayam, we need to understand the purification of nadi, and whole nadi system, whole purification system will be described in the chapter number 2. Okay. So, okay. That is the next verse, which is describing Ado Chatvari Bahyani Tadvan Bhyantrani Cha. It means among them, the first 4 are external, which I also described, and the last 4 are internal. After this, the if someone is telling you, okay, there are 8-fold paths, it will not be done if as a teacher you will say just that this is yama, this is niyama, and done. You must have to explain what are the yamas, what are the niyamas, and what is the meaning of them. Okay, so the next practice is, which he is describing in the next verses, is what yamas are there, what niyamas are there, how you have to practice it. Okay, यमाश्च दशधा प्रोक्ता. दशधा मीन्स 10. प्रोक्ता बताए गए हैं, मीन्स टेल्ड. ओके, देर आर 10-fold yamas which are described. नियमाश्च तथा दश. नियम are also 10. आसनानां च सर्वेशा उत्तनानि तथा दश. आसन are also described totally 10. तेषमुत्तनानि चत्वारि मुक्तमार्गाणि पुत्रकः, जिनमें से from them only 4 are means for the sake of liberation. Okay, so that is the whole thing which I have described already in the last. You must have to get this into your mind. Asanas are total 10, but only 4 are used for the sake of liberation. Like Siddh, Padma Singh, Bhadra. These are 4 names which are almost mentioned in every Hatha Yogic Granth. Okay, because these are sitting postures in which we can sit and meditate for a longer time. Similarly, similar type of 4 practices are there in the asana category. Okay. Then pranayam asti dradha. Tridha means 3. Okay. Proptaha Pratyaharascha chaturvidha. It means pratyahar will be of four, pratyahar will be of four types. Not of type, you can say that four processes will be there for practicing pratyahar. And when you are going to do pranayam, that will be threefold pranayam. And threefold means not three types. Threefold means will be, there will be three basic terms which you have to understand before practicing pranayam. What is pranav? And pranav is consisting of three different letters, uma. So you have to understand that pranav first, which is threefold. Then you have to understand three steps of pranayam, which is purak, rechak, kumbhak. Then again it's three. And then you have to see what type of practices you can do in pranayam. Okay. That's why it is said that pranayam is also said to be threefold. There will be three foldings in every step of the pranayam. And pratyahar is four-folded. After that, dharana is said to be five-fold. Five-fold means again there will be five things which we have to practice on the dharana. And these five things are the five elements: Prithvi, Jal, Agni, Vayu, Akash. Okay. Then dhyan is said to be six-folded. How dhyan can be six-folded? Because dhyan is having only two categories. One is sagun dhyan and one is nirgun dhyan. Sagun dhyan is having five different parameters and nirgun dhyan is only one. So sagun dhyan is type of lower category. When you started practicing meditation, you have to meditate on something. You cannot just sit and start meditation. You have to focus on either on your breath, as we are teaching the yoga nidra. We are making the people concentrate on the body parts, right? We are making them focused on the big toe, then ankle, different body parts. And after that, when we see that person is completely relaxed, we shift them from the body to the breath, from the breath to the soul to the energy. And then we are telling them, okay, just imagine that the energy is healing you. And that is how energy actually heals. It means that is a whole process. So when we are going for Sagun Dhyan is also that type of practice. Because if someone is giving you instruction, instructional Yoga Nidra is a different thing. And if as a teacher you know how to practice Yoga Nidra, no one is there to give you instruction, you can practice Yoga Nidra from your own without the instructions also. Because you know the process, right? So Sagun Dhyan is type of that when some other person is giving you instruction. There is something which you are trying to focus on, which you are trying to meditate on. Okay. So there will be five different things described in which you can practice to meditate on. That is Sagun Dhyan. But when you are practicing Nirgun Dhyan is the upper stage of Sagun Dhyan. When you don't need any object, when you don't need any aim to focus on, you are able to focus on itself. Okay. So that's why Dhyan is said to be six-folded, and Dhyan is also a balanced state of distinct ideas. Okay, because there are so many things going on in our mind, and when it is in balanced state, that is also known, that is actually known as Dhyan. And when this Dhyan becomes ultimate, and for some instance of equanimity, when you become equal, when you become almost parallel to the super conscious, then it is said that samadhi has been happened. Okay, you cannot practice samadhi, you can practice dhyan, you can practice dharana. Samadhi happen itself. Okay, so the same is that samadhi is a perfect equanimity. When you are practicing dhyan, from sagun you are trying to go up, you reached up to nirgun dhyan. In the nirgun dhyan state, if you hold there in the nirgun dhyan, keep practicing nirgun dhyan, there comes a state when instantly, for some time, for a ghatika, for a shan, for a pal, you reached up to that state when your inner conscious is completely equal to the super conscious. Okay, super cosmos, you can say that. Then this state is known as samadhi, the perfect equanimity. This has been also described by Vasishta in a nutshell to his son Shakti. Okay. So this is a chart. You guys can learn all these things with this chart, because there it is described how many are the numbers, how, what are the names. Okay. Let us go through the yamas. The 10 yamas, the names are ahimsa, satya, asteya, brahmacharya, These are the four same which is described in Patanjali Yoga Sutra. Ahimsa, Satya, Asthya, Brahmacharya. Aparigraha is not there as the name, okay? But the context of aparigraha you will see there. Then there will be Dhriti, Shama, Daya, Arjav, Mitahar, and Shauch. And if you will see in Patanjali, Shauch is the context of Niyam, not Yam. But here in Vasishtha Samhita, the order is little bit different and the names are also little bit different. You must have to learn these names in a simple order. Do not shift the order because in the exam, the orders are many times given. You have to arrange the order. Like you will be given, just arrange them according to Vasishtha Samhita. So you must have to have understanding of both, that how many are there, which is there in Vasishtha Samhita and which is not there. Because it is possible if they will give you 6 options and you have to arrange them in an order 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5, 4, 3, 2. This type of options can come. But it can be possible you will misguided it as Shauch is the part of Niyama because it is little bit confusing. But in Vasishtha Samhita, Shauch is the part of Yama. Okay. So just keep them in a line and keep them in your mind as such. Now, if you're going to describe what ahimsa is, ahimsa is English translation is, I do not prefer English translation because they are very misguiding. Because non-injury is not ahimsa. Ahimsa is the absence of hinsa. So you must have to understand hinsa, then you can understand ahimsa. When you are not consciously or unconsciously trying to hurt some person, trying to hurt yourself, then you are practicing ahimsa because it is happening many times when you are in the normal behavior. You don't know, but the thoughts come to you automatically. Sometimes other person's thought also comes to your mind. If some person is telling you, okay, this person is wrong, this is wrong, uh, it should have to be done with that person, I must have to slap this person, that is also a type of hinsa. But whenever these type of thought comes, you must have to keep it out from your thought structure. You have to practice it to keep it out, keep it out, keep it out. And after a time of practicing, these thoughts will automatically gonna get out from your mind. If you see something like this, that thought will not trigger you. Okay. So there will be the practice of ahimsa. Satya means the truth. Truth is something which is the real truth. If someone is asking you about the knowledge and a person who is astrology, who is the astronomy scientist, he will be telling that astronomy is good, astronomy is the real truth. The person who is studying physics, he will tell that the laws of thermodynamics are truth. If some person is studying some subject, he will tell that only that is truth. But if all these things are the real truth, because these subjects are continuously changing as the research is going on, the prior knowledge is changing. So how can that be the permanent knowledge? That cannot be the permanent truth. That is changeable. So truth is that which is ultimate truth. When we are talking about satya, about truth, so you must have to proceed the thing how it actually is existing. You must not have to mix something else with the knowledge, like Vasisht have done with his son, that he said, I am not telling you what you have asked, I am telling you what Brahma told me when I asked him, and I am trying to proceed as such. So Vasishtha is practicing truth, Vasishtha is practicing satya. Okay. Then there will be asthya. Asthya means desireliness. You are having no desire to steal something from another person's uh, adhikar kshetra. Okay. If something does not belongs to you, you don't say that it's yours. It can be anything. It can be any object, it can be any feeling, it can be any thought, it can be any person. If you are practicing that, if it is not mine, I will not have any of the like adhikar on that thing. That is the practice of asthya. Then brahmacharya, celibacy is you must have to keep your own energy on the higher state. For that, you have to skip out the Mathun process. That Mathun is not the physical only. If you are releasing out your energy negatively, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, you must have to skip out also that. You must have to cut out also that. That is the practice of brahmacharya. Then dhriti, shama, all these things is described separately, one by one, one by one. Okay. So first, what we have to do, just making this start and learn the names: ahimsa, satya, aste, brahmacharya. Fourth, then dhriti, shama, daya, arjav. Four, then mitahar and short. Because whenever there will be the number 10, easiest way to learn is how we are learning the phone numbers: 989763, like this. Okay. So in the same way, you can learn these 4, 4 and 2. Either 3, 3, 3 and 1. Okay. The best pattern for you is how you are learning the phone numbers, because every person is learning phone numbers differently. Okay. So you can also learn them like the phone numbers. When you go for the niyama, you can see the same. 10 names will be there, and you have to understand each and everything one by one. What are the names? Let us go for the names first, and then we will understand them from the verse one by one. Okay. These names are Tapa, Santosh, Astikya, दान, ईश्वर पूजन, सिद्धांत, श्रवण, then ह्री, मति, jap, and vrat. From all these 10, some words we have already listened. Like some people know what the jap is, like mala jap, okay, like the naam jap, okay. The Shravan word is related to hearing. Siddhant means Siddhant which are told by the Siddha Purushas. So the things which are told by Siddha Purushas, you must have to listen to them. Okay. Then Ishwar Pujan. Every one of us known with the word Ishwar. Who is Ishwar? Some person who are devoted to God. They are doing the worship of God. That is known as Ishwar Pujan. Dan, we know what is Dan. The thing which is useful to you, when you are giving that to other person, that is known as dan. Not the thing which you are purchasing from a shop and giving to other person, that is known not dan. If you have that thing and other people is needing that more than you are giving that thing which is important to you to that person, that is known as dan. Okay. Santosh means contentment. Just be satisfied whatever you have in the thing. Whatever you have, try to be satisfied in that. Do not crave for more and more and more. That is santosh. So these type of things are described one by one in the next verses. Then there will be 10 main asanas which are described. Just go with the name only. That is swastik asan, gomukhasan, padmasan, veerasan, that is Singhasan. Okay, just correct it. That is not Shirnhasan. Sinh. Singhasan. Mayurasan, Kukutasan, Kurmasan, Bhadrasan, and Muktasan. Now see, the easy trick to learn asanas in every Hatha Yogic text. Just remove the name asana from there and read only the first thing. It will become like a rhythm. Swastik Go Padma Veer, Singh Mayur Kukut, Kurm Bhadra Mukh. So that will be a pattern of 433 and it will be easy to learn it. Okay. Swastik Go Padma, Veer Singh Mayur, Kukut Kurm Bhadra Mukh. Like this, you can also learn it. So you can make your own pattern to learn. I am telling you this because in Hatha Yogic Granthas, every Granth is having a similar type of description, but there are some differences of asanas and many questions come with that. What asanas are described in Goraksh Samhita? What asanas are described in Ghiran Samhita? Just choose which is not in Ghiran Samhita. These type of questions are very popular in NET exam. So you must have to keep a type of rhythm to learn them. Because if you are okay with the Sanskrit, you can learn that verse. That will be easiest way. But if you are not connected to Sanskrit and that is tough for you, that is time taking for you, you can make the mnemonics for these. Okay. And making mnemonics, easiest method is remove the common term from all, because asan is there everyone. Asan is there with every name. So you can remove asan with every name and learn the rhythm of only the front parts, only the Prefix Swasti Go Padma Veer, Singh Mayur Kukut, Kurma Bhadra Mukt, like this. Then the pranayam, as we said, it is threefold. Why it is threefold? Because
Excuse me,
there are
ma'am.
three forms of pranayam described, three
Ma'am.
processes of pranayam described, and three states of pranayam described. That is why it is threefolded. And the other three we have already discussed in detail. That pratyahar, we have four major things to practice on, four major things to do pratyahar on. That is why it is four-folded. Dharana is five-folded due to the five elements, Prithvi, Jal, Agni, Vayu, Akash. And Dhyan is six-folded due to five Sagun Dhyan and one Nirgun Dhyan. Okay. So this is the whole of like introduction about your Ashtanga yoga practices. Just wait a minute. Okay. So these practices will be described, each practice will be described separately in a single verse, and we can go through them separately. Okay. So today we have done just the overview of all the things which we have to learn on in Ashtanga Yoga. So today's work will be you have to learn before tomorrow's class, this table everyone should have to have in the mind. Okay, before starting the class, in the starting of the class, we will ask the questions from this, that what are the yamas and what are the names actually, how many yamas and niyamas. These numbers we can learn easily, that 10, 10, 10, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is very easy to learn, but the names are little bit difficult. Okay, so just go for the name, just put that into the brackets of this table. Make this table 2 to 3 times in your copy paper and you will gonna learn it. That is not a big deal. After you're learning this, then it will be easy to understand everything, single thing separately in detail. Okay, so tomorrow we are going to proceed with this, that what ahimsa is described in Vasishta Samhita, like this. What is the satya described in Vasishta Samhita. According to the context of Vasishta Samhita, what is it? Okay. So we have to keep some words like what is described in the main sutra, because these are the things which you can see in exam, not the explanations. Okay. So for understanding this in detail, you must have to go through the verse and then explanation, verse and then explanation, verse and then explanation. Okay. So it was all for today, that what is Ashtanga Yoga described, how many compartments are there. Sagun, Nirgun, Dhyan we have explained in detail. Pratyahar will be five-folded. These things you have to keep in your mind. And now we are going to open up one by one, everything in detail. Okay. So now if anyone of you have any question, you guys can ask from the yesterday's class, from the today's class. Otherwise, you can prepare for your next class. Okay, there are Ashwini, Bhavna, Hina, Neelam, Rashika, Sanchit, Snehata, Sudhanshu, Surya, and Swati. Can you guys open your cameras? If it is possible, can you guys just open your cameras so we can communicate a little bit? Okay, Surya is there. Good. Snehalata, Bhavna, Swati. Okay. Ashwini. Okay. Okay. So, 5 students are there who are present, who will be giving the answer for first 2 questions. Just can you raise your hand consciously by your choice? I'll be asking you some questions from yesterday's and today's class. Okay, Swati is ready. Ashwini, can you give the
I
answer?
can try.
Bhavna is also ready. Okay.
I will try definitely.
Okay. Good. So just tell me, Vasisht Samhita, first chapter, how many verses are there in first chapter?
84.
84. Okay, don't do the cheating,
Sorry.
okay? Because I think you guys have reached the PDF. Don't see the PDF. Try to recall it, okay? What is the subject matter of chapter 1? Just tell me one by one. Who is gonna tell? Okay, Ashwini, can you tell what is the subject matter of chapter 1? Your voice is not audible.
Exactly, don't know.
Okay. Snehilata, can you tell the subject matter of chapter 1?
Uh, Shakti asking Vashisht about knowledge. What is
Okay.
knowledge and how can he attain knowledge of
Okay.
liberation? And then it is about Yam, Niyam, and Asan.
Okay. You have skipped one thing in between. Can anyone else tell me
Ma'am,
what the thing she
there are
skipped?
two types of karmas there,
Yeah.
pravartak and nivartak.
Good. There are two karmas after defining the question, because when Vasisht started the answer started with the type of karmas, which is pravartak and nivratak. Okay. Surya, what is the definition of pravartak karmas?
Parvartak karma is connected to desire.
Okay. What is the result if we are practicing pravartak karmas?
Mm. We fall into the again the cycle of birth and death.
No, this is by our understanding you are telling this, but this is not described in text.
Oh, yes, ma'am. But
Okay.
nirvartak, just I remember that liberation result
A
liberation.
little bit of misguiding you are. Okay. Bhavna, can you give the answer of that question?
मैं एक्चुअली प्रवर्तक जो होते हैं वो सकाम कर्म होते हैं, मतलब वो जो
Okay.
बंधन कारक होते हैं, और निवर्तक जो होते हैं वो निष्काम कर्म होते हैं, जो कि आपको किसी उसके साथ बांधते नहीं है, ऐसा
It's
बताया।
okay. It's fine. But see, when you are studying different texts, and if you will get the question according to Vasisht Samhita, what is Nivrata Karma? And there will be given some letters you have to choose on. They will give you the answers which are very similar. They will not give you the wrong answer. But
मैम,
yeah,
जो वेदों में बताए गए हैं वो अगर कर्म किए जाते हैं तो निवर्तक होते हैं।
yeah, but I am asking you
Ma'am,
about the result.
motivation.
What is
Res-
the result if some person is doing pravartak karmas?
Ma'am, is it motivation?
Yeah, they are motivating us for transmigration. You must have
Transfer.
to get that word actually. Because see, our understanding is good that Nivratak is for foundation. Oh, sorry, Pravartak is the bounding one, Nivratak is the liberating one. But if you get these three options, what are the Pravartak karmas? What is the result of Pravartak karmas according to Vasisht Samhita? Question will be this and answer will be given like this: liberation, containment, foundation, and the last one will be somehow which is correct for the transmigration, motivation for the transmigration. And
yes,
if you are
ma'am.
not getting that word actually, the motivation for transmigration, you can get the answer wrong, because the understanding that pravartak is bounding one, so you can go for the answer of foundation. Okay, you can go for the foundation of rebirth.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
they will give the answers which will be confusing. So you must have to keep that words in the slides which are written in very short. For the understanding, you can go for the whole text for the words and explanation. That is okay. But the things which I have made in table, you can get the words exactly what they are. Okay. So there will be lesser chances to get the wrong answer. Okay. Okay. So that is a good thing. Okay. What we have studied today. Can anyone try to tell the names of yama or niyama? What are the yamas and what are the niyamas? Have anyone write it down in copy? No. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I can speak. Hinsa
Yeah.
satya अस्ते ब्रह्मचर्य समाधृति दया आर्य विता शौचक जय जमादर
Okay.
तब संतोष आस्तिक्यम दान निष्ठम पूजनम सिद्धांत वाक्य श्रवणम हे मति जपो होतम.
Very good. Very good, Neelam. Nice. I think you have tell the verse exactly what it is. So see, when you get through the verse, it is much easier to learn, because that is like a rhyming of the primary students. Ting 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 ting. This type of tone can come out if you go for that. Okay, but you have to just read it for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, and after that your mind will automatically grab it. Okay. Okay, if now any of you have any question left, any doubt left, you can ask me. Otherwise, we can stop the session for today and we will
Yes,
meet
ma'am.
tomorrow.
One question is there. There is no
Yeah.
Siddhasan in the Vasisht Samhita?
In Vasit, no, there is no Siddhasan.
Okay. Okay.
It's Singhasan, which is there in Vasisht Samhita.
Okay.
Yes. Any other question? Okay. So if no question is left, we can end the session and we'll meet tomorrow at the same time. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so
Okay.
much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so
Thanks
much.
to you
ma'am.
too, guys, for learning
Thank
with the
you.
dedication. Okay, all of you can leave now.